Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Happy Clover Bear. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So, I'm finally back. We're trying something a little bit different because I'm assuming that people haven't really been that interested in the videos because there's not really anything graphic to look at while you watch them. I do kind of make my videos for the type of people that just put something on in the background at like work or while they're studying and don't really pay attention to the screen, but I figured I should put something interesting for people that do actually want to. So as you can see by the title, we're dealing with a poor communicator. The main character of this story is Election. I just want to emphasize that, like, before y'all start dating, make a list or kind of make a mental list of like pros, things that you like look for and stuff, and then what is like absolutely not, because I had an idea of like what I wanted, but I was not rigid enough, and I'm just like trying to get out of my people pleasing ways, and that's not the right thing to do. That doesn't create a sustainable relationship. So this all begins around the end of September, and in the middle of class, I randomly decided that I wanted to get on a dating app and find a partner. So I already had a profile set up, but then I got scared and immediately turned it off. But this time I was going all in. So I got over 6 matches in one day, but one of them really stood out to me. We're going to be calling her Election. So Election started off by saying, "You said you were a yapper, so what do you like to yap about?" From that point, we talked the whole day, and then we chatted for a week. At the end of a week of talking, we planned to go on a date at a cat cafe. And keep in mind, for later in the video, that I had no clue that Election paid for this date. I thought that the cat cafe was like, you pull up and you look at the cats. I didn't know you had to pay for it. So I said, leading up to the date, things were great. And that day I was super anxious, but looking forward to it. So when I pulled up, I saw her, and I'm going to be completely honest, I wasn't that attracted to her appearance. And the reason why I disregarded this is because everybody tells you that you shouldn't care about somebody's appearance. It shouldn't matter to you. And I think like, what I realize is that whoever I'm with doesn't need to be like Athena level. Like, they don't need to be stunning and gorgeous. But if they are unattractive, then it's probably not a good idea to proceed. And I should have listened to my gut, because I was slightly turned off when I saw one of the photos on her profile, on her dating app profile. So the photo was her with her mouth half open, eating a chicken nugget with severely bitten fingernails. And while that doesn't sound that bad, nail biting is one of my biggest icks. Like, I can be with somebody that bites their nails, but they can't be like freaking bleeding and raw, and they cannot do it around me. And then the reason why is because when people bite their nails that frequently, that means your hands are in your mouth most of the time, and only God knows how often you wash or sanitize your hands. And I'm like, I don't mess with germs, so. But when we were planning the date, she asked me for no reason at all, like, what's your favorite type of flowers? And I shouldn't have lied, but like, I don't want her to get me flowers. One, because like, I didn't want to have to come home with flowers, and then flowers for me, I don't even like when my family gets them, because they literally just die, and like, I can only enjoy them for like three days. Like, it's not really permanent. So and then I also knew that like, if things didn't work out, I would feel guilty. So when we arrived at the cat cafe, she handed me a bouquet of paper flowers, which I really appreciated. But I have this thing where like, I say thank you with a smile on my face. I do the best that I can, but I always feel like I'm not really that great at expressing gratitude. And that's another reason why I just don't like receiving gifts, because I feel like I can't react in the way that people want me to. And then, you know, I asked her if I could give her a hug, because like, you know, like, I'm a hugger, and also, like, I wanted to see, like, if she smelled good, because I don't mess with musty people, okay? And she did not smell great. She didn't smell amazing, but she didn't smell terrible, but she didn't smell good. Like, she was musty. But anyway, the day went really well, and then we ate afterwards. And the main thing that I noticed about her was that she was a really lonely person, and she did tell me that she has an anxious attachment style, and that she doesn't have many friends. So I knew that if we were going to continue seeing each other, I needed to be careful, because, like, if you have no other people in your circle to rely on, then that means you're mainly going to be, like, relying on me for, like, socialization, any type of social fulfillment. Especially if you have an anxious attachment style, you're going to be clingy. And I should have run when I had the opportunity. I was like, oh, let me give her a chance. That's not the right thing to do, y'all. So we had a second date at this local cafe, and we started trauma dumping, but, like, in the mutual intimate way, not in the is this guy good type of way. And I did let her know that I'm not out to my family, and that I didn't plan on coming out to them anytime soon. And I feel like it is almost impossible for someone with gay family to be with a closeted person, because she has two moms. Like, she had a dad, but then her mom cheated on her dad, and now she has a stepmom, and she's just not gonna get it. And now I feel like I didn't explain to her properly the fact that, like, I am not DL. Like, it's not like I need a secret side piece or anything. It's just that my parents don't know. Everybody else knows. So, and I feel like a lot of people that are out and proud, they don't understand. They're like, well, I want to be introduced to your family. I want family to be a big part of that. And it's like, closeted people just kind of grow up knowing that, like, family is not, like, the family that you create as a closeted person is not more important, but holds just about as much weight as, like, biological family. Because you know that you can create a circle of people that will support you for, like, who you are and who you choose to be with. But biological family, you just get stuck with them, and you just kind of you have to deal with the card that you're dealt, you know? And she was like, well, how would you introduce your partner to them? And I'm like, I wouldn't introduce my partner to them unless I'm getting married. Like, hello? Because, like, for me, it's like, I don't like being judged. I don't like having a bad relationship with my parents. So the only time I'm going to introduce them to somebody is if there's a ring on my finger. Like, and at the end of the day, she told me she was going on a trip with her dad, so she would be offline for a little bit. But then the following day, I totally forgot about that. And I've been ghosted multiple times, so I started freaking out. And then after a couple hours, I remembered, and I decided that I needed to distance myself because I was becoming super dependent on our conversations. And that's not a good thing. You know, you need to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, in uncertainty, and you need to be comfortable in your own company. And the funny thing about this, y'all, I have a private story where I kind of rant about this stuff in real time, right? And tell me why Apothecary texted me. Like, right when I was like, yeah, but Apothecary doesn't talk to me anymore. Apothecary texted me. But it's because I posted this story. I did this challenge on my story where it was like the story, and I'll say what I think about you anonymously. And I for her, because yes, she still follows me. Y'all know how lesbians are. Like, it doesn't matter what somebody does to you. Like, you're gonna have a hard time cutting off your ex. Even though we never dated, it was still traumatic. It holds the same amount of weight, okay? And and she was like, oh, for her, I said, I love you, but you're way too avoidant for me. And she texted me, and she was like, hey, how's it going? By the way, if you ever want to talk to me, just text me. I'm here for you. So you're here for me now that I moved on. Anyway, back to the main story. I just thought I should let y'all know, because I like to update y'all on, like, the little characters in my life. So the day she came back from her trip, I texted her, and I was like, I'm going to take a break for a day, because I feel like I'm becoming too clingy and distance is the only way to fix this. Now, yes, I could have worded this differently, but I'm a very honest person, and that was genuinely the thought in my mind. But also, like, I'm a really dramatic person. Like, I was not being clingy. I don't really know the word for it. I was being like something a little less than clingy. But y'all, maybe that's where I messed up, but it's okay. It needed to happen, okay? And she was like, oh, okay. And she seemed to have kind of a bad attitude. But I was like, you know what? I'm telling you I need space. You're just going to have to respect that. And I feel like that scared her away because I told her this on Tuesday. And when I came back on Thursday, she was ignoring me. So I already knew that she was actually ghosting me. So I started scrolling on dating apps again. And you might be wondering, why was I already trying to move on from her? But I know that she told me she's not great with communicating her issues. And if the first thing you do when you feel doubts about someone is ghost them instead of communicating with them, I know for a fact that I could never be in a healthy relationship with you. And I need to be prepared to walk away. So that's what I did. I texted her saying that we needed to talk through things because even if she didn't want to continue seeing me, the mature thing to do is to say that. So on Friday, I messaged her saying that I would like it if we talked over the phone because in my experience, people are very bold and rude and hurtful over text. And I feel like that's not a type of conversation that needs to happen over text message. So I called her during her lunch break because I knew she would be free. And she didn't answer. I think she declined the message. And I told her over voicemail that she had 2 days to let me know what was up or I was blocking her and moving on. So as a former blocker, people don't understand how being ignored makes someone feel. Like, I was literally thinking about every conversation we had, trying to figure out what I did to piss her off. And she texted me after that. So these are the messages, word for word. So she said, hey, I'm sorry I dropped off the face of the earth these past few days. I've been super busy, but also I was doing some reflecting and I just don't think I want to take things further. You are absolutely amazing and this isn't on you at all. I'm just trying to figure some things out about myself and I don't want to string you along. I really enjoyed our time together and if you're up for it, I'd love to be friends. And if you never want to talk to me again, I totally understand. So I said, thank you for being honest with me. I understand how you feel, but I do feel hurt by the situation because I think it should have been said earlier that you weren't ready for a relationship. It's my fault for assuming that you were ready. It's common sense that people get on dating apps ready for whatever may come. Your profile said that you were looking for a long-term relationship. I'm sorry, but I think it's best for us to go our separate ways. I don't feel comfortable in this situation when I put effort in. But it was fun while it lasted. And y'all, my friend drafted this message for me. So she put effort when I really wanted to put time. Because I didn't put a lot of effort in because it was a talking stage. But I did put time in. And like, girl, you should have figured out stuff before you set up a whole profile. And we went on dates and stuff. Like, don't start dating people if you don't know what you want. Hello? And she said, I think she was mad because, she doesn't have a lot of friends and she thought I was just finna sit here and be her friend after I had romantic feelings for her. I'm not that lesbian stereotype where you can go from romantically liking someone to just being friends with them. I don't do that. So she said, you've made a lot of assumptions. I never said I didn't want a long-term relationship. I meant that you aren't what I'm looking for in a long-term relationship. I was trying to be nice and let you down gently, but I guess I need to be honest, even though that's not really any of your business. So basically, this is me stepping in real quick. She's saying that she was going to be honest with me, but she wanted to be nice, so she lied. I don't like lying. So this is her talking again. I don't like the fact that you're keeping our relationship, if you can even call it that, from your parents. I understand that maybe for your safety, but you can't tell them. She can't freaking spell. She used to put typos all in our messages, dumbass. But I don't feel comfortable being made into a secret. Never said you would be a secret. Just, I would not tell my parents about you. I don't tell my parents about my relationships. Sorry, dog. But anyway, I want to be out and proud. family is super important to me, and I want to get to know my partner's family and them to get to know mine in a relationship. Also, what effort? And then she put a whole bunch of sarcastic emojis, because we went on 2 dates, and yes, they were fun, but there was not a lot of effort put into a Baba place. Or are you talking about the bare minimum, which is texting and calling? Girl, it's not the bare minimum for me. I hate talking to people. Hello? And then I said, because guys, I'm so honest. I said, thank you so much for being honest. I knew you were keeping some stuff out. I understand that completely. My relationships are only kept from them until they become serious. Again, I should have asked what exactly you wanted, and that was on me. What I should have said was time instead of effort. Also, even in your first message, you are too afraid or hesitant when it comes to communicating with me. And I understand why, because I've been there. But keeping the peace has always led to issues in my friendly and romantic relationships. I was willing to work with you on that, but I understand. Also, I wish we could have discussed that during the date. Are there any other things that cause your decision? Please be completely honest. I can't learn unless I know what I'm doing wrong. For you, I would suggest being forthcoming. You can be blunt or honest in a kind way. And while whether you are ready for a relationship or not is not my business, me communicating my confusion is not me trying to get up in it. Also, you should have communicated whether or not you wanted me to put more effort in. Basically, the main idea is you need to communicate more. I hope that it becomes easier for you to do that in the future. So yeah, basically what I learned from this situation is that when somebody tells you who they are, like when they told me that they have an anxious attachment style and that they're not good at communicating, that you take in what people tell you about themselves and you don't take it to heart. But you need to assess if that's right for you, because I already know that that wasn't going to work for me, but for some reason I stuck around. I should have broke it off with her during the first week. Okay? And that's on me. But anyway, I found a new person called Jade, and we started talking like 3 days after I kind of ended things with election. And things are going really good for us. We've had like some conflict because I told them that like I'm not out to my parents and stuff, and they were like, I have concerns that you're able to be in a real relationship. But I am gonna like update you guys on that whole situation when something comes out of it. Like if we end up breaking up or we end up committing to each other, then I'll make a video about it. But now we're technically like still in a talking stage, and I don't feel comfortable like making a video talking about it because I feel like that will jinx things. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day. Thank you, Pookie.